You know, 13 is our lucky number around here, but when it's negative 13 and it's the wind chill, it's not lucky, it's brutal. A cold weather advisory is in effect through tomorrow morning, and we're seeing a slew of school delays and closures right now. You can see them scrolling at the bottom of your screen and over on WTHR.com. Thanks for inviting us in where it's warm in here. It's 11 o'clock. Angela says we'll get some relief tomorrow, but we've got another frosty night to get through.
A frosty night indeed. 13 below zero is the feels like temperatures. Actual air temperatures are below zero, but I'm going to start with some better news.
All right.
20s. We get out of the single digits tomorrow. 20s for the next couple of afternoons, and then we go above freezing. 30s on the way in the 7-day forecast. But Scott said it, we have to make it through another brutally cold night. Continue to protect your home, your family, your pets. It's 3 degrees below zero in Indianapolis and Shelbyville. It's 5 below zero in Greencastle. These are air temperatures with those wind chills as low as 10, 15 below. If anything, temperatures stay nearly steady or go up a couple of degrees overnight. We still have lots of school delays for a very cold start to Wednesday. The rest of Wednesday, high temperatures in the low 20s.
Angela, thanks. This cold weather is also dangerous for animals. Right now, leaders at the Humane Society for Hamilton County are putting out a desperate plea for fosters. Tonight, our Logan Gay shows us how a broken heating system at this shelter is complicating efforts to protect vulnerable dogs.
So this is one of the kennels that's impacted by the broken heater system. And just on the other side of this wall are freezing temperatures. That's why staff are trying to temporarily rehome the dogs on this side and kennels on the other side of this wall.
We need to get these dogs out.
Now workers at the Humane Society for Hamilton County are asking for help from the community after their heating system broke, leaving some dogs like this one shivering. The 11 kennels and cages impacted have a dual indoor-outdoor entrance, and even though they're closed, without heat, it doesn't matter.
We are asking the community to please come in and foster some of our dogs so that we can play a little bit of Tetris and move some of these 11 dogs into heated areas of the building.
There's a diverse range of dogs to choose from, big and small, old and young. Lily Darling with HSHC says the shelter is staying open late Wednesday to welcome anyone willing to volunteer and temporarily foster for a few days while the heating system gets repaired.
While they do have fur, it's not going to keep them warm in these temperatures. These dogs are going to be freezing.
Darling says with 130 dogs in the building, there's no extra space to keep them during a dire situation like this. She says this could have a terrible impact on the animals.
It could result in sickness, they're going to be cold, they're going to be achy. It's not a good situation. Think about how we feel when we go outside and it stings and it hurts. The way that it affects us, it's going to affect these dogs as well.
Carly Middleton says she and her dog Roger didn't hesitate to answer the call for fosters.
I loaded Roger up in the car and off we went and had a meet and greet, and we're taking home a husky named Phineas.
That is our community stepping up and helping us because we are doing everything that we can.
So whether it's a warm kennel or a warm home, Darling says the most important thing is that the dogs are safe.
If we can get these dogs into comfortable spaces where they are warm and loved and taken care of, that is the best thing that we can do.
In Indianapolis, Logan Gay, 13 News.
And we want to remind you, if you're planning on fostering or adopting an animal from the Humane Society for Hamilton County, want to let you know there are a few things you should keep in mind. First, they ask you to fill out an application on their website. You don't need to wait to be approved. You can go straight to the shelter. They also ask you to bring any dogs you already have at home. We've got a full list of the requirements right now. It's all posted on WTHR.com/SeenOn13. Tonight at 11, a man is now under arrest accused of shooting his wife and killing her unborn child. All of this unfolded last Sunday night around 6 near Garfield Park. The victim, a woman, 5 months pregnant. Police tell us she was shot multiple times in the abdomen. She survived those injuries. Family members now sharing on social media she had surgery and is grieving the loss of her unborn child.
Losing a child, an unborn child, the trauma to always probably have fear of that person, that suspect that's been arrested, shooting at her, going through the physical recuperation. It's just trauma that nobody should have to go through ever.
Police tell us they found the woman's estranged husband not long after the shooting. Investigators also tell us community tips and license plate cameras helped them make that quick arrest. Now, we've got the arresting documents in this case that tell us the suspect admitted to this crime, telling detectives he actually planned it over several days. He's due in court Friday morning. And now to Muncie tonight, where a 4-year-old is recovering from a gunshot wound. Police tell us he was shot last Saturday night by a 9-year-old sibling. All of this taking place at a home on Milton Street. Investigators tell us the older child discovered the gun inside the house, then fired it, hitting the toddler. Police in Muncie say the appropriate agencies have now been notified. We've reached out to investigators about possible arrests or charges. When we hear back, we'll pass along their responses. Tonight, we want to take a look at new developments in the Delphi murders investigation. Richard Allen's attorneys say multiple errors in this case mean that Allen's conviction should be overturned. Back in November, a jury found Richard Allen guilty of killing Abby Williams and Libby German. Then just last night, Allen's attorneys filed a motion to correct errors involving items like the process of moving Allen to prison and the state's timeline of these two murders. They say that Allen should, at the very least, get a new hearing. So we talked to Brad Banks, a former prosecutor and current defense attorney. He told us the success rate for this kind of motion is low.
I would be shocked if anything positive comes out of this for the defendant. I think that would be extremely unlikely.
Now, the state is going to have a chance to respond to this court filing, and then the judge will rule. Right now, you can read the specifics of the motion online. You can scan that QR code on your screen. We'll break it out all down for you over on WTHR.com/Delphi. Tonight, the city of Frankfort is looking for a new park superintendent. Joel Tatum's resignation is effective today. This move comes as city leaders investigate several animal deaths at TPA Park Zoo and Aviary. In the last week, they confirmed the deaths of 2 deer and 2 chickens. The mayor tells us there are plans in place tonight to discuss the future of the Parks Department and measures to improve wildlife safety. Here's a look at the other stories making headlines right now. A man just pleaded guilty connected to the death of an Indiana State Trooper in 2023. Master Trooper James Bailey was struck by a car on duty in DeKalb County. Tonight, Terry Sands is pleading guilty to resisting law enforcement and aggravated battery. Police say Trooper Bailey was at a crash scene when he tried to slow a chase involving Sands on I-69. Sands is set to be sentenced next month. Tonight, investigators just identified the man who was killed at an apartment on the west side of Indy. The shooting happened yesterday on Mormon Avenue near Washington Street. Investigators say 37-year-old Rodney Nixon died. Police tell us they found multiple weapons on the scene. They did detain a person of interest who was later released. The Indianapolis Housing Agency is getting a new CEO. Yvonne DeBean is reportedly leaving her job at the Columbia Housing Agency in South Carolina. She's expected to take over here in Indiana February 17th. In recent years, there have been reports of mistakes and security concerns at several properties here in Indianapolis. The city and the Department of Housing and Urban Development took over that agency last year. Indiana University is cutting jobs, all part of an effort to cut costs. The Associated Press says it's the result of the new revenue sharing model in college sports. Now, according to the AP, school officials eliminated 25 positions in the athletic department. IU leaders are planning not to fill some open jobs while laying off about 13 employees. Remember, you can find all of our latest local stories anytime on our 13 News app.